Welcome to the Hinterlands. This weekly show whips together stories from the hinterlands of Nepal, takes you beyond the cities and highways into the heart of Nepal's rural landscapes. It's a country alive with stories, laughter, ideas, and everyday magic. I'm Rosina Rai, and we will be leading you into this journey every week. Welcome back. The Hinterlands brings stories from all 77 districts of Nepal to the forefront, amplifying voices that are often unheard and unseen, especially communities long ignored and marginalized. Our first report takes us to the Tarai region, to the Musahar community, where families remain vulnerable to floods, droughts, and chronic insecurity year after year, as promises of change remain unfulfilled.
A little away from the busy core of Janakpur Dham sub-metropolitan city, beyond the crowded roads and concrete structures, lies Basaiya, ward number 24 of the sub-metropolis in southern Nepal. But here the city's progress feels distant. In the Musahar settlement, political leaders have been frequent visitors these days. They come right to people's doorsteps, not with solutions, but with promises. Assurances are offered, hands are shaken, and then the vehicles leave. Yet, the daily struggle here remains unchanged, finding work, arranging food, and somehow surviving another day. In this Dalit settlement, even the houses built under the People's Housing Program have become symbols of neglect, structures started but never completed, standing as reminders of unfinished commitments.
नहीं दुआर है नहीं घर पर खर जुड़ रही है नहीं कथु जुड़ रही है नहीं लाइन के अवस्था नहीं घर के अवस्था नहीं सड़क के अवस्था कथु के है अवस्था हमरा सके गरीब के कथु के अवस्था न.
Every day, candidates are arriving in vehicles without asking about disease, hunger, or grief. They ask for votes and then drive away. Whenever the election comes, only then do the candidates remember these problems. But the locals express their sorrow that the candidates who went away, giving assurances to solve their problems, never returned. For the Musahar community, the demands are basic: a secure livelihood and a roof to live under. Nothing more. Yet even these fundamental needs remain unmet. The candidates, too, seem to have no concrete plans for them. Housing promises in this settlement are not new. They date back to the last election, and even children from the community can recall them. But the reality remains the same. Families continue to live in unsafe huts, vulnerable to harsh weather and constant uncertainty. For the residents, the hardest truth is that their problems rarely enter the priorities of those seeking votes.
The outflow of young Nepalese has reached a critical level and a large phenomenon inside the country. Migration in search of better employment opportunities and global exposure is rising sharply, with reports showing that some villages are now left without young men or skilled manpower. In these communities, women have no choice but to shoulder every responsibility in the absence of men. Now we take you to one such place, a village without a man.
Nepal continues to witness a steady rise in labor migration as employment opportunities within the country remain limited. According to the Department of Foreign Employment, between mid-December 2025 and mid-January 2026 alone, 55,541 men and 7,018 women received labor permit approvals under unskilled, skilled, professional, and highly skilled categories. This growing out-migration has not only emptied villages of youth, but has also significantly increased the social and economic burden on women. From farming and family management to development work and social leadership, women in the hinterlands of Nepal have no choice but to roll up their own sleeves. A clear example of this changing reality can be seen in Tallo Satigar village of Waling 6 in Syangja district. Daily household chores, agricultural work, community development, and social administration are now largely handled by women. Despite the common belief that women's participation in social, economic, and political sectors is limited, Tallo Satighar has shown that a village can function and move forward through women's leadership alone. With a situation resembling one house, one abroad, the village is now home mainly to women and elderly residents, leaving women to address every challenge that arises.
श्रीमान नहुँदा घर परिवार चलाउँदा एकदम गाह्रो हुन्छ किनकि अब भैँसी फुक्दा पनि बानी मान्छे पनि हुनुहुन्न अब त्यस्तै हो व्यवहार पनि चलाउनु पर्यो.
From working in the fields with children on their backs to managing households and extended families, women shoulder all of the responsibilities.
अबको अवस्थामा मलामी पनि महिलाहरू जाने अवस्था भइरहेको छ किनकि बेरोजगारीको कारणले.
As women in villages like Tallo Satighar continue to carry the weight of the households, communities, and development, their contribution remains largely unsupported by policy and resources. Unless sustainable employment opportunities are created within the country and women-led communities are backed with targeted programs, the unseen burden carried by women in these emptying villages will only continue to increase.
Now to a different report that raises serious questions about environmental safety from Nepal's Dhading district. This report digs deeper into the excessive use of chemical pesticides on farms, a practice that is destroying natural pollinators and predators essential to the ecosystem, such as honeybees. And beekeeping farmers are deeply worried as pesticide use in nearby fields is killing honeybees. This is especially alarming in a district where nearly 90% of the population depends on agriculture for survival. Dhading is a key agricultural pocket area where country's most significant commercial farming activities are in practice. Nearly 90% of the district's population is engaged in agriculture. Beekeeping, though not at a very large scale, is slowly becoming a lucrative source of income for farmers in the district, with the local agriculture office estimating around 12,000 beehives in the district. Farmers raise bees using both traditional log hikes and modern hive systems. Due to its slow investment and relatively high returns, beekeeping has been widely adopted as a livelihood option in the district. However, beekeeping farmers are now facing a growing crisis. The uncontrolled use of chemical pesticides in commercial vegetable, fruit, and oilseed farming has led to the death and migration of honeybees. Over the past few years, farmers report a steady decline in bee populations. When bees forage for nectar and pollen, they come into contact with pesticide-contaminated flowers and die. In addition, changes in weather patterns and flowering seasons are making it increasingly difficult for bees to survive and produce honey. Farmers in the district once produced up to 2 tons of honey annually, but production has steadily decreased in recent days. Agriculturalists highlight reducing and regulating pesticide use in beekeeping areas is essential to protect pollinators and strengthen the sector. Now we move to the remote hills of Pasthar in eastern Nepal, where daily life has become a constant struggle. The only means connecting villages to the outside world lies in ruins. Suspension bridges, once a vital lifeline for these remote communities, have been swept away, forcing residents back into hardship. In the remote hills of Pasthar in eastern Nepal, life is a daily struggle as the only mean of connecting to villages to the outside world is in ruins. For decades, Residents were forced to rely on fragile wooden foot bridges to cross rivers and streams and braving monsoon floods just to have access to their field or visit relatives. Khagendra Chemjong, a 60-year-old resident, has become one of the faces of this enduring struggle. Every day, Chemjong and others cross the river bearing life-threatening risk just to fulfill their daily activity. 3 years ago, the construction of a suspension bridge brought relief to the villagers, making the journey safer and more manageable. However, that relief was short-lived. During last year's monsoon, incessant rains swept away the only bridge over Nibukhola River in the village. Chemjong and his neighbors are once again forced to navigate the dangerous waters on their own.
पुलबाट हिँड्थ्यौँ अहिले यो बाढीले बिगार्दियो खतम बनाइदियो सेती बगर बनाइदियो अनि अहिले यस्तै छ
Government programs have long aimed to replace unstable wooden bridges with suspension and permanent structures, easing life in hilly districts. Addressing the issue, more than 350 suspension bridges were built in Pa's 3rd district by the government and various stakeholders over the time. Yet, these efforts are far from being sustainable. During heavy downpours, nature shows no mercy to villagers, and the urgent need for sustainable infrastructures remain unmet in this eastern district of Nepal. The same struggles begin anew each year with the end of the winter and the onset of the rainy season. This is the final report of this episode of the Hinterlands. We take you to Bhaktapur, Nepal's ancient city, widely known as the city of festivals and jatras, to witness the vibrant Pulukisi Jatra, where the white elephant dance is a major attraction. The ancient Newar city, Bhaktapur in Nepal's Kathmandu Valley, recently celebrated the Pulukisi Jatra, a vibrant fair and religious procession with great fanfare and devotion. Held during the sacred Sostani Brata, a month-long Hindu ritual observed across Nepal. This festival is a living testament to the country's religious dedication and cultural richness. In the Newari language, Pulu means elephant and Kisi refers to the animal itself. The festival features a symbolic white elephant dance representing Airavat, the divine mount of Lord Indra. During the celebrations, the streets and temple courtyards of Bhaktapur transform into a mesmerizing sea of color and sound. Traditional music fills the air while groups of youth, children, and women enliven the city, turning into a lively carnival of devotion and joy. At the heart of the Jatra is the Pulukisi, a symbolic elephant crafted from straw and brought to life through a captivating traditional dance. Organized with the active participation of Bhaktapur's core Newar community, this performance is not only entertaining for spectators but also deeply symbolic. Cultural scholars note that the festival embodies more than mere festivity. It represents faith, purity, and social unity. Unlike other festivals in Bhaktapur, the Pulukisi Jatra holds a unique and special place in the hearts of locals there. Despite the pressures of modern life, it remains a beacon of Nepalese cultural heritage. Generations of families have celebrated it without interruption, and visitors from across the Kathmandu Valley and neighboring regions flock to witness this spectacular event of the year. Both locals and officials emphasize the importance of preserving and promoting such traditions, ensuring that the vibrant spirit of Nepalese culture continues to flourish. Beyond the cities and the headlines, rural lives continue to unfold. Stories are shaped by struggle, strengthened by resilience, and carried forward by hope. This is the Hinterlands, and we will be back next week with more stories from the heart of Nepal. Goodbye for now.